कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please, don't play the set like this. Yes, this is the session. Give him to that. Then the mat. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Dṛṣṭvatarini. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramhans Parvakata Rashtvadari Divine Gashil ऐसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परम हंस परम डिवाइन गशील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरसिंह गोसाई महाराज की अनंत कोट वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की नामाचार्य हृदय ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण को गोपीनाथ श्याम राधन गोवर्धन की वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की नवद्वीप माया धाम की गंगा मैया की यमुना मैया की सामवेद भक्तवृंद की निताय गौर भक्तवृंद। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled हरे कृष्णा, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled हरे कृष्णा, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled हरे कृष्णा, ऑल ग्लोरीज गुरु एंड हरि बोल। बोल लिया ना, हरि बोल। आउट ऑफ द वे होता है ना, तो मतलब करताल नहीं चलते इसमें। वो जो है मृदंग आउट ऑफ द वे होता तो करताल नहीं चलते इसमें, अच्छा नहीं लगता। ठीक है। हरे कृष्णा। I welcome you all in this session of the Bhagavad-gītā. Today text is text number 51. Bhagavad-gītā as it is, chapter name Universal Form. अर्जुन uvāca दृṣṭवेदाṁ mānuṣaṁ rūpam tava saumyam Janārdana idānīm asmi saṁvṛttaḥ sa-cetāḥ prakṛtim gataḥ। अर्जुन uvāca दृṣṭवेदाṁ mānuṣaṁ rūpam tava saumyam Janārdana idānīm asmi saṁvṛttaḥ sa-cetāḥ prakṛtim gataḥ। अर्जुन uvāca दृṣṭवेदाṁ mānuṣaṁ rūpam tava saumyam Janārdana idānīm asa saṁvṛttaḥ sa-cetāḥ prakṛtim gataḥ। श्री अर्जुन uvāca दृष्टुं mānuṣaṁ rūpam tava saumyam Janārdana idānīm asmi saṁvṛttaḥ sa-cetāḥ prakṛtim gataḥ। Hare Krishna, now speak one by one. Arjuna uvāca dṛṣṭvedaṁ mānuṣaṁ rūpam tava saumyam Janārdana idānīm asa saṁvṛttaḥ sa-cetāḥ prakṛtim gataḥ। Arjuna uvāca dṛṣṭvedaṁ mānuṣaṁ rūpam tava saumyam Janārdana idānīm asmi saṁvṛttaḥ sa-cetāḥ prakṛtim gataḥ। Arjuna uvāca dṛṣṭvedaṁ mānuṣaṁ rūpam tava saumyam Janārdana idānīm asmi saṁvṛttaḥ sa-cetāḥ prakṛtim gataḥ. Arjuna uvāca dṛṣṭvedaṁ mānuṣaṁ rūpam tava saumyam Janārdana idānīm asmi saṁvṛttaḥ sa-cetāḥ prakṛtim gataḥ. Arjuna uvāca dṛṣṭvedaṁ mānuṣaṁ rūpam tava saumyam Janārdana idānīm asmi saṁvṛttaḥ sa-cetāḥ prakṛtim gataḥ. Word to word meaning. Arjuna uvāca, Arjuna said, dṛṣṭvā, seeing, idam, this, mānuṣaṁ, human, rūpam, form, tava, your, saumyam, very beautiful, Janārdana, O chastiser of the enemies, idānīm, now, asmi, I am, saṁvṛttaḥ, settled, sa-cetāḥ, in my consciousness, prakṛtim, to my own nature, gataḥ, return. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki. When Arjuna thus saw Kṛṣṇa in his original form, he said, O Janārdana, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature. Repeat किए मेरे पीछे. When Arjuna thus saw Kṛṣṇa in his original form, he said, O Janārdana, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature. Purport. The words mānuṣaṁ, rūpam clearly indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be originally two-handed. Those who deride Kṛṣṇa as if he were an ordinary person are shown here to be ignorant of his divine nature. If Kṛṣṇa is like an ordinary human being, then how is it possible for him to show the universal form? And again, to show the 400 Narayan form. So, it is very clearly stated in Bhagavad-gītā that one who thinks that Kṛṣṇa is an ordinary person and who misguides the reader by claiming that it is the impersonal Brahman within Kṛṣṇa speaking is doing the greatest injustice. Kṛṣṇa has actually shown his universal form, his 400 form, Vishnu form. So how can he be an ordinary human being? A pure devotee is not confused by misguiding commentaries on Bhagavad-gītā because he knows what is what. The original verses of the Bhagavad-gītā are as clear as the sun. They do not require lamplight from foolish commentators. This Bhagavad-gītā chapter, it is divided in 4 sections. The first section is from 1 to 8. Arjuna's request and Kṛṣṇa's description of his universal form. 9 to 31. Sanjay's description of universal form. 30 to 34. Kṛṣṇa instructions to become instruments. 35 to 46. Arjuna's prayer. 47 to 55. Only pure devotee can see Kṛṣṇa two-handed form. So this is the universal form. Chapter is universal form. After going through this chapter, it is revealed that Kṛṣṇa is the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of the Mahavishnu, from whom the material universe emanates. Kṛṣṇa is not an incarnation. He is the source of incarnation. All incarnations. He has been completely explained in the last chapter, in the chapter 10. As far as Arjuna is concerned, he was under the influence of the illusion whether he should fight or not to fight against the Kauravas, because he does not want to involve in the fighting. This means that Arjuna no longer thinks of Kṛṣṇa as a mere human being. As a friend of his, but as a source of everything, Arjuna is very enlightened and is glad that he has such a great friend as Kṛṣṇa. Definitely, if the friend, anyone who has got a good friend, actually, he must be glad. But now he is thinking that although he may accept Kṛṣṇa as the source of everything, others may not. So, in order to establish Kṛṣṇa's divinity for all, he is requesting Kṛṣṇa in this chapter to show his universal form. To show the universal form. Actually, when one sees the universal form of the Kṛṣṇa, one becomes frightened. Like Arjuna, but Kṛṣṇa is so kind that after showing it, he covers himself again into his original form. He is very much kind. Because the Kṛṣṇa, Arjuna was very much fearful. He again returned to the two-handed form. Arjuna agrees to what Kṛṣṇa has several times said. Kṛṣṇa is speaking to him just for his benefit. So Arjuna acknowledged that all this is happening to him by Kṛṣṇa's case. Now the Arjuna is convinced that the Kṛṣṇa is the cause of all causes and is present in everyone's heart as the super soul. Arjuna wanted to see the Kṛṣṇa in his universal form, which although a transcendental form is just manifested for the cosmic manifestation and is therefore subject to the temporary time of this material nature. This universal form, this is a temporary one actually, not the permanent one. As the material nature is manifested and not manifested, similarly, this uniform form of Kṛṣṇa is manifested and non-manifested. It is unlimited. Expansion of universe is situated in one place. although divided into many, many thousands. Both Arjuna and Kṛṣṇa were sitting on the chariot when Arjuna saw the universal form. Others on the battlefield could not see this form because Kṛṣṇa gave divine vision to Arjuna. Arjuna could see in the body of the Kṛṣṇa many thousands of universes. As we learned from the Vedic scriptures, there are many universes and many planets. Some of them are made of earth, some are made of gold, some are made of jewels, some are very great, some are not so great, etc. Sitting on his chariot, Arjuna could see all these universes, but no one could understand what was going on between Arjuna and the Kṛṣṇa. Because this universal form, it is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Kṛṣṇa's other form. As far as the devotee is concerned, the devotees are not eager to see the universal form, but because Arjuna wanted to see the Kṛṣṇa in this way, the Kṛṣṇa reveals this form. This universal form is not possible to be seen by any ordinary man. Kṛṣṇa must give one the power to see it actually. Because we have the material vision actually. So, normal, ordinary person cannot see this universal form. This divine vision is required. Once the divine vision is revealed, the relationship between Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna changes immediately. Before this divine vision, Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna had a relationship based on friendship, but here, after revelation, Arjuna is offering obeisances with great respect and with folded hands. He is praying to Kṛṣṇa. He is praising the universal form. Thus, Arjuna's relationship becomes one of the wonders rather than friendship. Great devotees see Kṛṣṇa as the reservoir of all relationship. In the scriptures, there are 12 basic kinds of relationship mentioned, and all of them are present in Kṛṣṇa. It is said that he is the ocean of all relationships, exchanged between two living entities, between the gods or between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Arjuna sees everything in the universe. Therefore, he sees Brahma, who is the first creature in the universe, and celestial serpents upon which the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu lies in the lower region of the universe. This snake's bed is called Vasuki. There are also other snakes known as Vasuki. Arjuna can see from the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu up to the topmost part of the universe on the lotus flower planet where Brahma, the first creature of the universe, resides. That means that from the beginning to the end, everything could be seen by the Arjuna sitting in one place on his chariot. This was possible by the grace of the Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa is very much merciful to his devotees actually. A pure devotee does not like to see Kṛṣṇa in any form except his form with two hands. A devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with the mind but with the spiritual eyes. To see the universal form of Kṛṣṇa, Arjuna is told not to change his mind but his vision. Universal form of Kṛṣṇa is not very important. That will be clear that has been cleared in this verse, in the verses. Yet, because Arjuna wanted to see it, the Lord gave him the particular vision required to see that universal form. Devotees who are correctly situated in a transcendental relationship with the Kṛṣṇa are attracted by loving features, not by a godless display of opulences. The playmate of Kṛṣṇa, the friends of Kṛṣṇa, the parents of Kṛṣṇa never want Kṛṣṇa to show his opulences. They are so immersed and absorbed in the pure love that they do not even know that Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In their loving exchange, they forget that Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the boys who played with Kṛṣṇa were all highly pious souls. And after many, many births, they are able to play with Kṛṣṇa. Such boys did not know that Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They take him as a personal friend. Did you see also, you are here listening this Bhagavad-gītā class, the Matajis are this, making garlands. This is also devotion service. So, we are engaged in devotion not immediately. This is for the last so many births actually. We are engaged in devotion service actually. This is not immediately. This is not the case of one birth actually. So like this, the boyfriends who were very pious souls actually, from the earlier birth actually, with Kṛṣṇa, so many births actually. So you people also are very much pious. And not only from this birth actually, but from the earlier birth also. They are some impersonal persons. The Supreme Person is considered the impersonal Brahma by great sages as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the devotees. There are two types of persons actually, devotees and sages. The sages consider him as the impersonal Brahma. The devotees consider him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The fact is that the devotee is not concerned to see the Vishwarup, the universal form, but Arjuna wanted to see it to substantiate Kṛṣṇa's statement so that in future people could understand that Kṛṣṇa not only theoretically or philosophically presented himself as the Supreme, but actually presented himself as such to Arjuna. Arjuna must confirm this because Arjuna is in the beginning of the parampara system, those who are actually interested to understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, and who follow in the footsteps of Arjuna, must understand that Kṛṣṇa not only theoretically presented himself as the Supreme, but actually revealed himself as Supreme actually. So nobody should have doubt actually. When we discuss theoretically or philosophically, there is some doubt actually. So this is revealed actually practically actually. So there is no doubt actually, the Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality Godhead. He is the Supreme Controller. He is the cause of all causes actually. There must be no doubt actually. When Kṛṣṇa appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, he first of all appeared as four-armed lion. But when he requested by his parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child in appearance. Similarly, Kṛṣṇa knew that Arjuna was not interested in seeing a 400 form of Kṛṣṇa, but since he asked to see this 400 form, he also showed him this form again, and then showed himself in his 200 form. The word form is very much bapu. It is very significant. Bapu is a very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form, 200 form. When he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Kṛṣṇa's form. In Purport, those who deride Kṛṣṇa as if he is an ordinary person are shown here to be ignorant of his divine nature. Those who deride Kṛṣṇa as if an ordinary person, such persons are ignorant and also known as asuras or demons. Kṛṣṇa does not manifest to anyone, to everyone. He manifests to devotees who take shelter in his lotus feet. When Kṛṣṇa was present on earth, there was only a few people who could understand him to be Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the assembly of Gurus, when Shishpal spoke against Kṛṣṇa's being elected president of the assembly, Bhishma proposed and supported him and proclaimed him as a supreme god. Similarly, the Pandavas and few others knew that he was a supreme god, but not everyone. He does not reveal to the non-devotees and the common man. He manifests only to his devotees as a reservoir of all pleasure, but to others or unintelligent non-devotees, he is covered by his internal potencies. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Kunti prayers तथा परमहंसानां मुनीनां अमलात्मनां भक्ति योग विधानार्थ कथम पश्येमि स्त्रिया. You yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of the devotional service into the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators, who are purified by being able to discriminate between the matter and spirit. How then can we, the woman, know you perfectly? Even the greatest philosophical speculators cannot have access to the reason of the word, reason of the Lord. It is said in the Upanishads that supreme truth, absolute personality of Godhead, is beyond the range of thinking power of the greatest philosophers. He is unknowable by the great learning or by greatest brain. He is only knowable by one who has his mercy. Others may go on thinking about him for years together, yet he is unknowable. This very fact is corroborated by the queen, and she is playing the part of an innocent woman. Women in general are unable to speculate like philosophers, but they are blessed by the Lord because they believe at once in the superiority and almightiness of the Lord, and thus they offer obeisances without reservation. The Lord is so kind that He does not only show a special favor to one who is a great philosopher. He knows that the sincerity of the purpose. For this reason, only the women generally assemble in great number in any sort of religious function. In every country and in every sect of religion, it appears that the women are more interested than the men. This simplicity of the acceptance of the authority of the Lord is more effective than so sincere religious fervor. Now, how it is confirmed? The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Kṛṣṇa actually. This is confirmed by the Arjuna actually. In Bhagavad-gītā, text chapter number 10, text number 12 and 13. Param Brahm, Param Dham, Pavitram Param Bhavan, Purṣam Sāsvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajambhu. Ahu Tam Risha Sarve Devas Nara Tatha Asit Devalo Vyas Swayam Cha Bravit Me. So Arjuna said, you are the Supreme Brahm, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth and the eternal divine person. You are primal God, transcendental and original. You are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. All the great sages such as Narad, Asit, Deval and Vyas proclaim this of you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. The Supreme Person is different from the individual soul. Arjuna, after hearing the Chaturshloki in the Bhagavad-gītā, chapter 10, the 4 verses in Bhagavad-gītā, became completely free from all doubts and accepted Kṛṣṇa as the Supreme Personality Godhead. He at once boldly declares, you are Param Brahm, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the originator of everything and everyone. Every demigod and every human being is dependent on him. Men and demigods, out of the ignorance, think that they are absolute and independent of the Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa. Those who think that they are independent of the Lord Kṛṣṇa, actually they are non-devotees. They are not devotees of the Lord. Because devotees of the Lord actually, they follow the instruction of the Kṛṣṇa. Whatever Kṛṣṇa has said in Bhagavad-gītā, they strictly follow it actually. The ignorant is removed perfectly by the discharge of the devotion service. This is clearly explained in this verse actually. Suppose there is a doubt in the minds of the persons actually who want to execute a devotion service. So by listening the instruction of the Bhagavad-gītā or by association with the devotees, the doubts are cleared actually. And doubts are cleared about Kṛṣṇa, and they now accept that Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personal God. Until or unless one has trust and faith in Kṛṣṇa's superiority, Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personal Godhead, one cannot engage in devotion service actually. Without trust and faith in Kṛṣṇa's superiority, one cannot engage actually. This is the first priority actually. Also, the some has, if any doubt is there actually, so out of compassion the Kṛṣṇa removed from the hearts actually of the devotees. Tesam em kampartham aham agyanjam tama nasyami atmabhavasto gyan dipena vasvata. Out of compassion for them, I am dwelling in their hearts, dṛṣṭvā with a shining lamp of knowledge, the darkness work of ignorance. When Lord Chaitanya was in the Banaras, promulgating the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thousands of people were assembled, following him. There was one person, Prakṛtim, a very influential and learned scholar in Banaras at the time, derided Lord Chaitanya for being a sentimentalist. Sometimes philosophers criticize the devotees because they think that most of the devotees are in the darkness of ignorance and are philosophically nice sentimentalists. Actually, this is not the fact. There are very, very learned scholars who have put forward the philosophy of devotion, but even if a devotee does not take advantage of their literatures or his spiritual master, if he is sincere in his devotion service, he is held by the Kṛṣṇa himself within his heart. So the sincere devotee engaged in Kṛṣṇa consciousness cannot be without knowledge. The only qualification is that one carry out the devotion service in full Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Modern philosophers think that without discriminating, one cannot have the pure knowledge. For them, this answer is given by the Supreme Lord, those who are engaged in pure devotion service, even though they be without sufficient education and even without sufficient knowledge of the Vedic principle, are still held by the Supreme God as stated in this verse, in this Chatusloki verses actually. They must be devotee actually of the Lord actually. The devotees are always held by the Lord Kṛṣṇa, by the shining lamp, so that the light is revealed in their heart. So there is no possibility of understanding the supreme truth, the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the one and the same thing, simply by speculating or thinking. For supreme truth is so great that it is not possible to understand him or to achieve him simply by making a mental efforts. Man can go on speculating for several millions of years if he is not devoted, if he is not devotee, if he is not a lover of the supreme truth, he will never understand Kṛṣṇa or the supreme truth. He must be a devotee to understand the Kṛṣṇa. So bhakti ma avijanati yavanascha chasmi tatvatah tato mam tattato kyatva visretat anantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality as he is the only by devotion service. And when one is in full conscious of the Supreme Lord, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Only the devotees of the Lord can enter into the kingdom of God actually. He must be in full consciousness. This is revealed by the Lord himself. Supreme Personality of Godhead Kṛṣṇa and his plenary portions cannot be understood by mental speculations, nor by non-devotees. If anyone wants to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has to take to the pure devotion service under the guidance of a pure devotee. Otherwise, the truth of Supreme Personality of God will always be hidden. If it is not under the guidance of devotee, then the truth will always be hidden. Naham prakāṣa sarvasya yoga maya saṁvṛttaḥ moho ayam navijanati loko mam ajam abhyam. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am covered by my eternal creative potency, yoga maya. So, the deluded world knows me not, who am unborn and infallible. The deluded word actually, he does not know him, who is Kṛṣṇa actually. It may be argued that since Kṛṣṇa was present on this earth and was visible to anyone, then why is not he manifested to everyone now? But actually, he was not manifest to everyone. When Kṛṣṇa was present, there was only few people who could understand him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Kunti says, "O my Lord, you are the maintainer of the entire universe, and devotion service to you is the highest religious principle. Therefore, I pray that you will also maintain me. Your transcendental form is covered by Yoga Maya. The Brahma Jyoti is the covering of the internal potency. May you kindly remove this glowing effulgence that impedes my seeing your sa-cetāḥ vigraha, your eternal form of bliss and knowledge." This Yoga Maya curtain is also mentioned in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad-gītā. The Supreme Personality of Godhead in his transcendental form of bliss and knowledge is covered by the internal potency of the Brahma Jyoti, and the less intelligent impersonalist cannot see the Supreme on this account. Also in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a prayer by Brahma, "O Supreme Personal Godhead, O Super Soul, O Master of all mystery, who can calculate your potency and pastime in this world? You are always expanding your internal potency, and therefore no one can understand you. Learned scientists and learned scholars can examine the atomic constitution of the material world or even the planets, but still they are unable to calculate your energy and potency. Although you are present before them, the Supreme Personal Godhead, Lord Kṛṣṇa, is the only unborn but also abhya, inexhaustible. His eternal form is bliss and knowledge, and his energies are all inexhaustible. One who is fully conversant with the Kṛṣṇa's science become eligible to enter into the spiritual kingdom, the abode of Kṛṣṇa. Becoming Brahma does not mean that one loses his identity. Devotional service is there, and as long as devotional service exists, there must be God, the devotees, and the process of devotional service. Such knowledge is never vanquished. Even after liberation, liberation involves getting free from concept of material life. In spiritual life, the same distinction is there, the same individuality is there, but in pure Kṛṣṇa consciousness, one should not misunderstand that the word one can enter into the abode of the Supreme Lord in his individuality to engage in his association and render service unto him. For instance, a green bird enters a green tree, not to become one with the tree, but to enjoy the fruits of the tree. Impersonalists generally give the example of a river flowing into the ocean and merging. This may be a source of happiness for the impersonalist, but for the personalist, keep his personal individuality like an aquatic in the ocean. We find so many living entities within the ocean. If we go deep, this surface acquaintance with the ocean is not sufficient. One must have complete knowledge of the aquatics living in the ocean depth. Because of his pure devotional service, a devotee can understand the transcendental qualities and the opulences of the Supreme Lord in truth. As stated in this chapter, only by devotional service can one understand. The same is confirmed here. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotional service and enter into his kingdom. I think it is now, the time is over actually. I must end my class here. Any question I think you require? Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. You want to have a question?
Hello. Hare Krishna. I wanted to ask, there was the mention of devotional service a lot of the time. What exactly does this devotional service entail? How does one practice devotional service?
You mean to say devotional service? The devotional service actually, this is, the initial thing is that actually by hearing the Lord's name, activities, pastimes, it is started from this, and with the association of the Lord, with the association of devotees only, not by its own actually.
How can one become sure of the existence of God?
This is actually with the association, this is not a one-day job.
Sure,
right?
but
You be regular with the devotional service actually, devotional service and the devotees of the Lord actually. You have to associate first actually. It is not a one-day job actually. And second thing is that actually you must have firm trust and faith in Supreme Personal Godhead. The Supreme Personal Godhead is the controller of the whole universe. He is the greatest of all. He is the controller of the all demigods actually.
how to get that trust?
Pardon?
How to get that trust?
How to? This is the instruction of the Lord actually himself actually.
Yes,
This is
but
all written in Bhagavad-gītā. You have to read the scriptures actually. Scriptures are true actually. This is the, Kanaji, this is the documentary evidence actually. Scriptures are, these are the documentary evidences. No proof is required. This is the proof itself actually. Whatever we speak actually, we speak on the basis of Bhagavad-gītā or scriptures actually. Not from other source actually.
so we are trusting that the Bhagavad-gītā is authentic.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.